Alright guys, today we're going to talk about the Old Town pedal drive system, the PDL. Comes on the Big Water 132, the Sportsman 106 and 120 PDL, and the Salty PDL. Basically the same drive mechanism in all of them. I'm going to give you a few quick tips on what you need to be looking for with those drives before and after you go fishing. Alright, so number one, here's the pedal drive itself. Probably familiar to some of you if you've already have one. If you don't, that's what it looks like. I've got an aftermarket Yak Hobby prop nut on there. But one thing you always want to do before and after you go fishing is take your prop nut off and take your prop off, and always check around your drive shaft and your prop pin for any fishing line or loose debris, fishing line, weeds, whatever that can wrap around that and really affect the performance of your drive. Always inspect your clamps, make sure they're not cracked or broken, but do be aware that these are designed to break. So if you hit something really hard and this has got your drive locked down, these are designed to break away as to prevent damage to the actual drive. So if these are very cheap, always get you a couple and keep some spares, but they are designed to break, but you want to check them and make sure that you have a solid one before you go fishing. Another thing a lot of people forget to do is when you install your drive, you got to put this pole through the drive itself and then lock down these tension knobs and make sure it's centered. You always want to make sure that's centered because that will affect the performance of the drive. If it's not, you'll feel it wobble and shake, and you'll kind of hear a creaking noise. If you have any of those things happening, make sure you make sure your drive's centered. But one way you can prevent that from ever getting off center is you can buy some spacers or create your own spacers out of PVC or whatever and put them on each side of the drive right there. That way you always know that your drive is centered up and going to be running true for you. Another thing you want to do is when you're done fishing, always take your drive and turn it up and run the water out of it. I already did it with this one, but if you don't, it'll hold some water, and while these are sealed gears, you don't want to have standing water inside the drive head there. And then last but not least, inside all of the pedal drives is a dry storage hatch. Always carry spare parts. These hatches, these pods are big enough to hold a complete prop, store some of these latches, store an Allen wrench so you can change out some of this stuff, an extra prop nut if you have one, just a few extra parts and tools so that you make sure you don't get stranded out there on the water and have to paddle yourself back. You always want to be able to use your drive. Alright guys, there you have it. If you have a PDL, hopefully that helps you remember to check a few things. If you're just getting one, hopefully that gives you a little checklist of things to be aware of before you hit the water.